The Power of Less, by Leo Babauta. Introduction. Imagine a man drowning. Not in water, but in life itself. He's buried under a mountain of debt. He works a job that keeps him stressed and away from his 6 children. He's overweight, unhealthy, a smoker, and deeply unhappy with where his life is headed. Every day is a chaotic scramble, a constant stream of emails, phone calls, and demands that leave him feeling overwhelmed and powerless. He's producing more, doing more, and consuming more than ever before, but he's never felt more empty. This man isn't a character in a novel. This was the real life of Leo Babauta just a handful of years ago. From that point of near-total collapse, he made a simple choice that would radically transform his entire world. He didn't discover a secret productivity hack or a complex new system. Instead, he discovered something much more profound. He discovered the power of less. By applying this one simple idea, he went on to not only quit smoking but to run marathons. He didn't just organize his desk, he eliminated his debt completely and started 2 successful online businesses, one of which now reaches millions of readers a month. He did all of this while raising his 6 kids and finding a sense of peace and calm he never thought possible. The book we're exploring today, The Power of Less, is the map he created during that journey. It's not just another book about time management, it's a philosophy for living. It's a quiet rebellion against the modern world's obsession with more. And the promise of this book is a bold one. It promises that by deliberately setting limits and focusing only on what is truly essential, you won't just get more done, you will do it with less stress, more joy, and a greater sense of purpose than you've ever felt before. So, if you've ever felt like you're running on a hamster wheel, constantly busy but never making progress on what truly matters, then stay with me. Because over the next few minutes, we're going to uncover the simple, beautiful, and life-changing art of limiting yourself to the essential, and in doing so, unlocking a power you never knew you had. Book summary. Our story begins with a simple but profound problem, one that every single one of us faces today. There has never been a time in human history when we could get so much done, so quickly. But, as Babauta points out, there has also never been an age where we were so completely overwhelmed. We are, as he so perfectly describes it, drinking from a fire hose of information. Our day starts with an inbox full of demands and ends with an inbox just as full. We are drowning in notifications, requests, and an endless list of things to do. This constant overload isn't just inefficient, it's stressful, it's wasteful, and deep down, we know it's not how we want to spend our one and only life. So what's the solution? Do we have to follow Thoreau's example, build a cabin in the woods, and disconnect from society entirely? Babauta says no. He proposes a middle ground, a way to find calm in the middle of the chaos. The solution, he discovered, boils down to just 2 steps. These 2 steps are the foundation of this entire book, the very heart of his philosophy. Step 1. Identify the essential. Step 2. Eliminate the rest. That's it. That's the secret. It's a principle so simple it almost seems too easy, yet it is the key to unlocking extraordinary results. Think of it like a sculptor who is given a giant block of marble. His job isn't to add anything to it. His job is to chip away everything that isn't the masterpiece. Our lives are that block of marble, cluttered with non-essential rock, and our job is to find the masterpiece within by chipping away the rest. To illustrate this, Babauta tells a wonderful story of 2 reporters. The first reporter is all about volume. He churns out 30 articles a week. He skims sources, writes quickly, and his editor praises him for his incredible output. He's always busy, always working, the very picture of a modern, productive employee. The second reporter takes a different approach. He decides to write only one article a week. Because he has this strict limitation, he knows that one article had better be brilliant. He spends the first half of the day just thinking, researching, and brainstorming. He picks a single high-impact story. He spends 2 days researching it, another 2 days writing and fact-checking it. Now, what do you think happens? The first reporter gets short-term praise. But the second reporter? He produces an award-winning article. It's the piece that readers remember, the one that gets him a promotion, the one that builds his entire career. The first reporter was focused on volume. The second reporter was focused on impact. He did less, but he achieved infinitely more. That, in a nutshell, is the power of less. This idea is beautifully captured in the ancient Japanese art of the haiku. A haiku poet has a strict limit, just 17 syllables. Within that tiny space, they must convey a powerful image or emotion. They can't waste a single syllable. This limitation forces them to do something critical. They must choose only the most essential words. By choosing the essential, they create a massive impact with minimal resources. This brings us to the first two guiding principles of this new way of living. Principle 1. By setting limitations, we are forced to choose the essential. Principle 2. By choosing the essential, we create great impact with minimal resources. These two ideas are the key to everything that follows. Whether we're talking about our projects, our email, our health, or the clutter in our homes, the process is always the same. Set a limit, choose what's truly important, and let the rest fall away. But this raises the most important question of all. In a world full of noise, how do we know what's essential? How do we find the signal in the static? Babauta offers a series of questions we can use as a filter, a way to guide our choices. When faced with a long list of tasks, projects, or commitments, we should pause and ask ourselves. First, what are my core values? What principles do I want to live my life by? If a task doesn't align with my values, it's probably not essential. Second, what are my goals? Not just for my career, but for my life. What do I truly want to accomplish this year? This month? Today? An action is only essential if it moves me closer to one of my most important goals. And third, what has the biggest impact? Not everything on our to-do list is created equal. Some tasks are like small pebbles, while others are giant levers that can move mountains. Answering 100 unimportant emails might feel productive, but closing one deal that brings in $10,000 is what actually moves the needle. We have to learn to tell the difference between being busy and being effective. Once we start asking these questions, we begin to see our lives in a new light. We realize how much of our time and energy is spent on things that are neither important nor impactful. And that's when we can begin the liberating process of elimination. This is the third principle: simplify. Simplifying is simply the act of cutting away everything that isn't essential. This is where the real work begins, and it's where most of us stumble. It's easy to say we should simplify, but it's hard to do in practice. It requires us to do something most of us are very bad at: saying no. Saying no to new projects, no to unimportant requests, no to commitments that don't align with our values. Every time we say yes to something non-essential, we are implicitly saying no to the things that truly matter. Saying no isn't about being rude, it's a commitment to protecting our time and energy for our highest priorities. Once we've set our limits and simplified our commitments, we unlock the fourth, and perhaps most powerful, principle: focus. In our multitasking world, we've been tricked into believing that juggling a dozen things at once is a sign of productivity. Babauta argues it's the exact opposite. Multitasking, he says, is less efficient because our brain wastes energy every time it switches gears. It's more complicated, which leads to more stress and more errors. A life without limits is like taking a single drop of red dye and pouring it into the ocean. The color spreads out and dilutes into nothing. A life with focused limits is taking that same drop of dye and putting it into a small glass of water, where its color becomes vibrant and powerful. True power comes from single tasking. It means when you're writing a report, you're just writing the report. You've shut off your email, silenced your phone, and closed all the other tabs in your browser. You immerse yourself completely in the task at hand. This state of deep immersion is what psychologists call flow. It's that magical feeling when the world around you disappears, you lose track of time, and you are completely absorbed in a challenge. We find our greatest happiness not when we're passively scrolling, but when we're mindfully engaged in a task we care about. By eliminating distractions and focusing on one thing at a time, we can create the conditions for flow to happen, making our work not only more effective but also more enjoyable. This intense focus applies not just to our work, but to our state of mind. Babauta encourages us to focus on the present moment. So much of our anxiety comes from worrying about the future or replaying mistakes from the past. But the only time we can ever truly live is right now. When you eat, just eat. Pay attention to the taste and texture of your food. When you're walking, just walk. Feel the ground beneath your feet and the air on your skin. This practice of being present is a form of meditation that can be done anywhere, at any time, and it's a powerful antidote to the stress of our chaotic lives. Now, setting limits, simplifying, and focusing are powerful ideas. But how do we make them stick? How do we turn these concepts into automatic behaviors that we don't even have to think about? This brings us to the fifth principle, which is the secret to making any lasting change: create habits. We all know the feeling. We get a burst of inspiration on January 1st and decide we're going to meditate, exercise, learn Spanish, and write a novel, all at the same time. By January 15th, we're exhausted, overwhelmed, and we've given up on everything. Our enthusiasm has run out. Babauta's experience taught him a crucial lesson: trying to form multiple habits at once is a recipe for failure. Your focus and willpower are finite resources. If you spread them across 10 different goals, you're destined to fail at all of them. The solution is what he calls the power of less challenge. It's incredibly simple. Focus on creating only one new habit per month. Just one. For 30 days, you pour all of your energy and attention into making that one habit stick. Let's say you want to start exercising. You don't commit to exercising for an hour every day. That's too big. Instead, you follow the sixth and final principle: start small. This principle is the key to ensuring your success. You decide you're going to exercise for just 10 minutes a day. That's it. It's a goal so easy, so ridiculously achievable, that it's almost impossible to fail. Why does starting small work so well? Because it bypasses our brain's natural resistance to change. A huge goal is intimidating and requires a lot of motivation. A tiny goal requires almost none. You don't need to be motivated to exercise for 10 minutes. You just do it. Success is built on momentum. When you start with a small, guaranteed success, you can build on it. After a week of exercising for 10 minutes, maybe you feel like doing 15. After a month, that habit is becoming ingrained. The next month, you can focus on a new habit, like eating more vegetables, while your exercise habit continues to run on autopilot. A small success is far more powerful than a glorious failure. Over the course of a year, by focusing on one small habit each month, you can completely transform your life in 12 different ways. This is exactly how Babauta accomplished his incredible list of achievements, from running marathons to becoming debt-free. It wasn't one giant leap. It was a series of small, consistent, focused steps. So we have our 6 principles: set limitations, choose the essential, simplify, focus, create habits, and start small. Now, Let's see how these principles come to life when we apply them to the most challenging areas of our lives. Let's start with our goals and projects. Most of us have a long list of things we want to accomplish. But as we've learned, a long list just dilutes our focus. Babauta introduces the one goal system. At the beginning of the year, or any time, you look at your long list of ambitions and you choose just one. The one that excites you the most, the one that will have the biggest impact on your life. For the next 6 months to a year, that is your sole focus. You then break that one goal down into a smaller, one-month sub-goal. Each week, you set a weekly goal that moves you toward that sub-goal. And every single day, you choose one simple action that moves you toward your weekly goal. This becomes your most important task for the day. This system ensures that every single day, you are taking a small, concrete step in the direction of your biggest dream. For all your other work, he recommends the simple projects list. You take your massive list of 10 or 20 ongoing projects and you choose just 3. 3 is the magic number. It's enough to allow you to switch between them if you're waiting on information from someone else, but not so many that you lose focus. Everything else goes on to an on-deck list. You do not touch the on-deck list until you have completed all 3 of your active projects. This forces you to focus on completion, not just on starting new things. This same logic applies to our daily tasks. Instead of working from a never-ending to-do list, you start each day by identifying your 3 most important tasks, or MITs. These are the 3 things that, if you get them done, will make your day a success. You do these 3 things first, before you get pulled into the whirlwind of email and meetings. By tackling your biggest priorities when your energy is highest, you guarantee that you are always moving forward on what matters most. Everything else you get done that day is just a bonus. And what about the beast that consumes so much of our time and energy? Email. Babauta's approach to email is a masterclass in applying limitations. First, he says, limit when you check it. Instead of living in your inbox, set 2 predetermined times per day to process email, say, 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Turn off all notifications. This simple habit alone can free up hours of your day and allow for long blocks of uninterrupted, focused work. Second, when you do open your email, your goal is to process to empty. You go through each email one by one and make an immediate decision. Delete it, archive it, reply to it if it takes less than 2 minutes, forward it, or add the required action to your to-do list. The email itself does not get to live in your inbox. Your inbox is not a to-do list. It's a processing station. Third, and most radically, he recommends limiting the length of your replies. He follows a 5-sentence rule. This forces you to be concise, to get to the point, and to respect both your time and the time of the person you're writing to. By applying these simple limits, you can transform email from a constant source of stress into a powerful, efficient tool that you control, rather than it controlling you. Ultimately, the power of less is a philosophy that extends to every corner of our lives. It's about decluttering our workspace so that our mind is clear and focused. It's about slowing down, so we can actually enjoy the present moment instead of rushing through it. It's about simplifying our commitments so we have time for the people and activities we truly love. It's a journey away from the frantic, overwhelming pressure to do everything, and a journey toward the quiet, powerful confidence that comes from doing only what is essential, and doing it well. It's about understanding that simplicity isn't about having less. It's about making room for more of what truly matters. Commentary. As we come to the end of our exploration of the power of less, I can't help but feel a sense of profound calm. In a world that is constantly screaming for our attention, a world that equates busyness with importance, Leo Babauta's message feels less like a productivity strategy and more like a lifeline. The true genius of this book isn't in some complex, groundbreaking new theory. Its genius lies in its radical simplicity. The idea that you can achieve more by doing less feels completely counterintuitive, and yet, as you dive into the principles, you realize it's a fundamental truth we've somehow forgotten. What I find most powerful about Babauta's approach is that it's deeply human. He doesn't present himself as a productivity guru who was born organized. He starts by showing us his own chaos, the debt, the poor health, the stress. His transformation feels real and, more importantly, achievable. He gives us permission to be imperfect, to start small, and to focus on making gradual, lasting change rather than attempting a massive, unsustainable overhaul of our lives. The principle of one habit at a time is perhaps the most practical and life-changing piece of advice in the entire book. We all know what we should be doing to improve our lives. The problem isn't a lack of information, it's a lack of a sustainable method for implementation. By focusing all our energy on a single, tiny habit for a month, we make change not just possible, but probable. This book is a powerful reminder that our time and energy are our most precious, non-renewable resources. Every time we say yes to a distraction, to a non-essential task, or to a commitment that drains us, we are taking that precious energy away from our goals, our passions, and the people we love. Simplicity, in this context, isn't about deprivation. It's about strategic allocation. It's about creating space in your life for what truly fills you up. So, how can you start applying this wisdom today, right now? Here are 3 very small, very simple actions you can take. 1. Choose your one MIT for tomorrow. Before you go to bed tonight, don't write a long to-do list. Just identify the single most important thing you want to accomplish tomorrow. Write it on a sticky note and put it where you'll see it first thing in the morning. Make a promise to yourself to do that one thing before you get lost in the noise of the day. 2. Go on an email diet. For the next 3 days, commit to checking your email only twice a day. Turn off all the dings, pop-ups, and notifications on your phone and computer. You might feel a bit of anxiety at first, but I promise you, by day 3, you will feel a sense of freedom and focus you haven't felt in years. 3. Ask the 2 magic questions. Pick one area of your life that feels cluttered or overwhelming. It could be your desk, your digital files, or your weekend schedule. Take just 10 minutes and ask yourself Babauta's 2 magic questions. What is truly essential here? And what can I eliminate? You'll be amazed at how much lighter you feel by simply removing a few non-essential things. This book isn't about becoming a minimalist monk. It's about becoming more intentional. It's about trading the chaotic frenzy of more for the focused power of less. It's about designing a life that isn't just productive, but is also peaceful, meaningful, and deeply enjoyable. That was a summary of The Power of Less by Leo Babauta. We've certainly covered the core ideas today, but I'll be honest with you, a summary is like looking at a photograph of a beautiful landscape. You can appreciate its beauty, but you can't feel the sun on your skin or the wind in your hair. The real magic happens when you experience the book for yourself. It's in the quiet moments, when a particular story or a simple phrase connects with you in a way you didn't expect. This summary is designed to help you decide if this book deserves your time. If anything we've talked about today has struck a chord, I encourage you to grab a copy. Reading it isn't just about learning new information, it's an experience that can genuinely change the way you approach your days and, ultimately, your life. The link to the book is in the description below. Also, if you found this journey valuable, please show your support by hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel. That way, you won't miss our next exploration into another life-changing book from the world's most successful minds. Let's keep learning and growing together.